This is a recording of the tenant application information session for the Prince Edward County Affordable Housing Corporation. If you're interested in applying for rent-geared income or subsidized housing, please contact Prince Edward, Lennox, and Addington Social Services Picton office at 613-476-2842. First of all, a little bit about us. We were created by the county with a board of directors which currently includes 2 county councilors. Our job is to create affordable housing and support partnerships with property owners and private developers to create new affordable units. Right now, we will have 52 units available by 2024. We'll have 40 units in Wellington on Nile Street, which are an apartment building with 36 units and a 4 attached townhome. In Picton on Disraeli, we will have 12 units, which will be either studio or 1-bedroom apartments. So what does affordable rent mean? It means that the rent amount is at least 20% below CMHC median rents for our area, and 2, that the rent is no more than 30% of gross household income. The chart shows you what the rents are, which range from $620 for a studio to $1,200 for a 3-bedroom, and the income ranges for each of those, and that will be important, and I'll explain later. These rent amounts include water, but not other utilities. We will require tenants insurance for all units. If you don't have one tenant insurance policy, we will have a policy which will be around $30 a month available. Before you apply, you should know that there are asset limits. There's an asset limit of $75,000, which does not include your car. And if you're an owner of a residential property in the county or anywhere else, you're not able to apply. That's because your asset limit will be high enough for you to find other ways of maintaining housing. If you own the house you live in and would like help to keep the housing, please let us know. There may be programs that can help you. We rank your application in 5 areas: the date that you applied, whether you're a county resident with 2 exceptions, which I'll explain, whether your income matches the unit you want, your current housing status, and certain household characteristics. So first things first, you need to be a county resident, except when you used to be a county resident and you want to move back to be closer to your work or to family, or to move here to the county to help someone who's a current resident stay in their home. The second thing that we look at is to see if your household income matches the unit size that you want. We need to make sure that the people that need the housing the most can get it, but also can afford to maintain the rents. So we look at income ranges for each unit size, and your gross household income has to match that. So how do you calculate your gross household income? You need to calculate it for each person in your household over the age of 16 and not in school, and add up the gross household income for each person. Most of the time, you can just use line 150 from your income tax return or notice of assessment. If your income changes or you expect it to change, you can use whatever benefit statements you have now and figure that out for the year. Or if you just started receiving a new pay, you can use that as well. If you don't have the exact amount, that's also okay. You can provide that documentation later. And make sure to include income that isn't taxable too, like guaranteed income supplement for seniors or the child tax benefit for families. And then you add everyone's income together, and that's your gross household income for your application. We also look at housing status, and we rank based on need. So we rank people who don't have shelter at all, the highest, then people who live in emergency shelter, people who don't have housing of their own, in other words, couch surfing, at risk of losing their housing, meaning that your housing is either more than 50% of your gross household income, or you've received a notice to terminate your tenancy, or your housing isn't permanent or not covered by the Residential Tenancies Act, which usually means that you share a kitchen or a bathroom with the landlord. The next one is if you're housing insecure, where you spend more than 30% but less than 50% of your gross household income on rent, and then we look at compassionate relocation and former long-term resident. We also look at household characteristics. We know that some people in the community have a harder time getting and keeping housing for certain reasons. So we'll ask you if you are one of the people in these groups: a survivor of abuse in your household, or human trafficking or a political refugee. If you're a youth, 16 to 30. If you're a senior, 60 plus. If you're an LGBT plus person. If you're a person with a disability, including cognitive, invisible, mental health, and problematic substance use, a Black, Indigenous, or person of color, a single person or a single parent, or a veteran. And you just click all the ones that apply to you. When it comes to developing tenancy offers, we will be reminding applicants every 3 months to update their application because the housing at this point isn't going to be ready right away. And we will let all applicants know when we expect units will be move-in ready. When we are ready to offer tenancies, we'll choose from the earliest applicants and the ones that are the highest ranking. If you're offered a unit, you'll have 10 business days to confirm all of your application is accurate and provide us with the documentation. If you need help, just ask, and there's agencies that can help too. So the really important stuff to remember is that you don't need to complete a full application. If you're missing information, that's okay. Whenever your housing status or income changes or you find out information that you need, you can update your application online or by letting us know if you did a paper one. For online applications, always remember to do 2 things. Click Save and Continue on the red bar, and you'll get an email explaining how to go back to your application to update it, and always click Submit to make sure that your application is updated. If the application doesn't include something we should know, please tell us. You also have the ability to appeal a decision we made about your application. So our contact information, if you want to email us, is apply@pecahc.ca. Our phone number is 613-476-2148, extension 1529. And if you need information on tenancy or financial assistance for your housing, you can go to our help page, which is www.pecahc.ca/help. If you have any questions at all, let us know and we'll be glad to answer your questions. Thank you.